Good morning, everybody. It is a stormy day out on this, honestly, pretty gloomy, but still wonderful Thursday. I hope everyone is doing well. And if not, I do hope things get a bit better. Of course, I'm excited to play a bit of Pokerogue today. I had the music muted, mainly because whenever I do stuff off stream, so, like, whenever I play off-stream, I usually just have it muted because I never care enough to actually listen to it, because I know, like, if I load my main save, it's like an early-on run. I don't remember what I was going for, but I wanted to do some challenge runs today. So, I've beaten normal type. I could go for a fighting type, but I'm debating going for ice type. Because, of course, there's a lot of cool ice types out here and stuff. Because I'm thinking about it. I do have a Alolan Vulpix with Snow Cloak. If I, is it Snow Cloak that turns into Snow Warning? You'd been playing Pokemon for a while. The past few gimmicks were mad because Megas, you like the concept, but hate how much it hurt them. Like, oh yeah. Like, because the theory that I kind of subscribe to personally, Alolan Vulpix, was the whole thing of, okay, so I would need its hidden ability to get Snow Warning. Dang, that sucks because it's a perfect snow setter. I could... Also gonna move this out of the way. So, I do have more attack than special attack, but I think getting rid of Leader just for Matcha Gotcha is worth it here for the healing. If I could get Thick Fat, I would use it. Seal is just insanely good. Ice Body? I'll keep Thick Fat just because it's good. Seal is really good. I could try to set up a Shell Smash, or, go boom, 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 boom with, frickin' belly drums with this guy. Frostmoth is pretty good. In all honesty, though, I really do like Arctozolt. So if I do Arctozolt... Hmm. Citadel is a good wall. Um, if we could get a Frostlass, that could be good. So like Frostlass would not be bad. Let's see, what do I have? Frostlass is already pretty frail, so I can do that. And then, you know what? No, we wouldn't be able to use Cast Form. Because, at least not to my knowledge, because of some reasons, obviously. We'll take it, just in case. But I don't know for sure. Glad you're doing well. Okay, so I want to check. Can I pull out Cast Form? No. So it needs... Like, I can't... What's the point if I can't pull it out despite it snowing? You get me? I think that's something that... Then Cast Form shouldn't appear on that. If I can't pull it out while it's snowing. Like this. Because it's the only way to get the Hail Form. So it's literally just going to be dead weight for this early bit. I'm also going to... I wish you could do audio by more than just 10%. Because it's like, I want it like in between, personally. Oh shit, a Ditto! Don't see those all the time. Outer Snow will hurt both of them. It transformed into Wurmple. Wow. Arctozalt's actually a really good, mon. Welcome into the stream, Rainbow Knight. Hope you're doing well today as well. You know, I actually oh my god, Scald. Oh, only Cast Form. Healing Charm, then. But I remember all the way back into Gale of Darkness, and, like, I wanted to play him, but I never got the chance to. And it was one that I always wanted to play. I just never got to. So I'd definitely love to play that eventually. Also, hello, Rowdy. Hope you are doing well today. I know I just decided to do a chill thing. Also, finally, Twitch, pulled through and lets me use the new love emote, which, thank God. For a moment there, I had... So, something I'm just gonna say for, like, behind the scenes. There was a point where it was like, this could be inappropriate. And I'm like, what? It's a heart! Like, huh? So it caught me off guard when I saw that. Oh, team-up attacks? Those technically have existed in a form, yeah. Like, the team-up attacks are cool, like, just beat Classic Mode on your new account? Nice! Yeah, I love Pokerogue. It's one of those things that I come back to here and there, like... And one of the things I've actually debated, doing on a stream, eventually, is, like, going full out and, like, doing the quiz of naming every single Pokemon. I know I probably wouldn't be able to get all of them without the spelling helper eventually, because some of them just suck to spell because of just how weirdly they're spelled, like Feraligatr, because it ran out of character limits at the time. I can't wait for Boltbeak, because with Aqua Step, Boltbeak is going to become, is going to become crazy, because it's based off your speed. Because, like, there are some technical team-up attacks that not a lot of people know how they work, the pledge moves. So, the pledge moves are a very overlooked set of moves because they're not the best. But, basically, if your two Pokemon both use it, the faster one will activate the slower one. So if the slower one adds the effect, instead of starts the effect, it will just automatically go and start the effect at the beginning of the turn and set off both pledge moves, which is really cool. But it's the fact that, like, the swamp one, I believe it lowers your actual, like, speed by, like, a third or something. Like, it's crazy lowered speed for the pledge moves. The fire one does damage over time. It's pretty okay. And then there's the, it's fire and grass for that one. Then of course, you got the swamp with the grass and water. The water and fire, I believe it's like a steam thing. I can't remember exactly. It was like, I can't remember that one's effect off top of my head, because that one is, like, the worst one, if I remember correctly. Like, there's a lot of them like that are just awful. But I really do want to see more of those moves actually get the love they deserve. Because there's some cool ones out there. Like, I would love to see more moves that interact like that. Like, you got Revival Blessing, which is a really interesting one in my personal opinion. I like how it revives at half HP and has 1 PP. I think that is a cool way of doing it. That makes it fair and balanced. I'm only catching this because it gives me something. Ooh, the Garden Pattern. And maxed out defense. That actually is really good for Scatterbug. I will say, though, the Ice-type run is going to suck if we can't get, like, the Ice Caves, so we're going to want to hope that we go the water route. More Super Lure. Mainly because I need it. Wait, Cherubi's passive is Orichalcum Pulse. I did not know that. I mean, either way, it's dead. Not fused with Necrozma, not fused, and Kyurem not fused. Necrozma will rush in and grab both enemies and start wailing on them, then throw them in the air. Kyurem freezes them with Necrozma. I mean, like, team-up attacks work better for double battles, because there's a reason that competitive hates Mega Evolutions quite a lot, and part of that is because it over-relies on specific Pokemon to an extent where it just makes it not fun. Terra's been the best gimmick for competitive overall. And as someone who used to do competitive and stuff, like, I've experienced quite a bit of, like, those types of things where it's like, yeah, it's good, but it could be better. Like, Z moves were but they actually made some Pokemon, like Eevee, like, actually rise in power. Terrains were added in Gen 6, but because of how little they were used, you probably saw it once, not realizing in Clement's gym. But Gen 7 is where they truly became more known because of the abilities that added them, and it added another terrain on top of it. And in all honesty, I love the different terrains and stuff, and I'd love to see, like, more stuff like that, where there's a little more strategy-type moves. Moves that mix that you wouldn't expect. Like, one that could be cool is, like, if you could mix Heat Wave, for example. That could, like, think of the possibilities with Heat Wave. It's a wind move. That mixed with the Wind Rider ability is actually really good. Because the Wind Rider ability makes it so that doesn't affect you, basically, but boosts you instead. Like, I'd love to see more abilities that, like, take advantage of that and stuff, and I'm curious in what they're going to do about it, because there are some really cool ones out there that I'd love to see. I would say my favorite one, personally, of all the ones I've seen, would probably be the ability of Armor Tail, because unlike Dazzling and Queenly Majesty, it's on a Pokemon that actually is viable. Because the other two were very because Bruxish not only was rare as hell, but awful stat-wise in terms of, like, competitive scene. And then you have Serena, which is a pure grass type, and people don't usually want to double up on types, especially like a grass type, which is super weak to like so many types. Because Amoonguss has always had like a higher usage due to stuff like Rage Powder, Spore, and stuff like that, and it's a bulky mon. While Serena is not bulky and more of a glass cannon in some ways. But with Farigiraf, it, despite being a mixed attacker, it also is surprisingly bulky, which lends way more to its uses, and I really like it. Um, but I also would love to see them actually, like, fix some old moves. Fusion Bolt's frickin'... It's like the freezing electric one. It's like... It's Black Kyurem's one, which is, like, so bad. Same thing for the White Kyurem one. Where it's like... It takes 2 turns, and it's not 100% accurate. And it's like, really? We have that, and then we look at it now, and it's like... You got Urshifu, which completely broke the scene because of how broken it is. Like... I'd love to see them go back and fix some moves and stuff. Because, like, Barrage, I can guarantee most people have no idea what I'm talking about when I mention the move Barrage. Because it's the signature move of Executor and Execute, and it's a normal type move that hits multiple times, is not 100% accurate, and is low base power. Like, it is worse than Fury Swipes type base power. And it's just a normal type move, too. So they don't get stab on it. It's that bad. Like, I love Pokemon. I love the competitive stuff. Like, I loved what they did with the Blueberry Academy. I would love to see them add more stuff that actually makes people think about, like, double battles and stuff. I would like them to add the set style back into the game, so that I can stay on set, because I prefer it on set. Because that's how I like to play. But I want to see them add, like, areas, even if it's just post-game stuff, mainly, that actually challenge you on that level. I think that would be really cool. And I think that would add a lot to just replayability and ideas that we could see. Of course, it's not 100%, but even then, it would still be cool. My main thing, though, is, I debated Mist there for a moment, because that could be really good against some of the boss battles. But if I could get Haze, which nullifies the status effects and stuff, that would be amazing. God, Arctozolt, stop missing. Speed won't go any higher. If I could get Bolt Beak right now, that would be awesome. Because Bolt Beak would help so much. Because with all the speed, it would be a stab electric move that does a lot of damage. Rare Candy, Potion. I need the Potion. Oh, great, Mankey. I will say, I am so happy they gave Mankey a frickin' evolution outside of just Primeape. Like, Primeape was good and all, but now that we have Annihilape, it's so nice. And there goes Snover. We'll send out... Oh yeah, we can only send out one other Pokemon. And it'll just Powder Snow. And there goes Arctozolt. Though I really do think it is dumb. Because, like... Because, yeah, that is one of the other things you need to think about with it, is how would you balance the team attacks? Because that's one of the things that they need to think about when creating stuff, because we all saw what happened with the, frickin'... Actually, I haven't done my ghost type run yet. Ooh, I do kind of want to use this. Tachyon Cutter is not good for this guy, mainly because it is a base attacker. So, I love Shiny Honedge so much. I'll add this mainly for the sake of the stuff I can use. Same with Mimikyu. Pumpkaboo does get pickup, which is not bad, especially right now. We'll go for Pumpkaboo, because having pickup is going to be so nice. And we can just lead off with Honedge. Shadow Sneak is still good because it's stab. Oh no, my attack. Oh no! Think about 1 usage per battle. Oh my god! I got Steam Eruption and Recover unlocked with the Unlock a Suicune. I got Keldeo unlocked with Bouncy Bubble. I unlocked Zarude with Mighty Cleave and unlocked Gouging Fire with... Oh god, extreme speed on this guy is scary. So, the attack stat is low, but mind you, this guy is actually terrifying as hell. And these are only sub-legendaries. I'm quite sure I had, like, a, something, because I have a bunch of stuff. Okay, yeah, that was my last eggs. Because I do not have a lot of them. Might as well. It's just some eggs. What's the worst that happens? Though I do hope that we get, Delphox could be good to deal with. Chestnut would be perfect as well, because those don't really help against the ghost type. But eventually they lose their secondary type, so honestly, anything. Tidy Up is nice to have, though. Woodhammer isn't worth the not very effective and the damage I'd take. But yeah, for a team-up move, I think it would have to be something of... You need to balance it with how long it's going to take, but also what effect is it going to have depending on what Pokemon, because I can already guarantee you with threats like Fluttermane and Urshifu, it would be scary as hell. Like, it would just be another version of the Z move, but worse. That's how most people would probably end up seeing it. And even then, if they're gonna add another gimmick, they would want to add a gimmick that everyone can use, even outside of battle. Like, not just outside of, like, double battles, I mean. So, like, using it in double battles and single, because that's what they try to do. Like, I think it would be... It's one of those things where you need to, like, think from the game balancing perspective. Because I spent time, like, learning how to game balance. I have to do that for D&D. That's, like, a thing I have to always do. So I'm always like, okay, how can I balance this? And the answer is not fucking easily. In fact, it's very difficult. But, like, some of the possible gimmicks is they could bring back gimmicks. Like, they're bringing back, Megas for ZA. I personally think Megas can exist as long as it isn't, like, in competitive. Because that only hurts competitive. And it hurts, like, the lifespan. It only... Because that's the thing with Megas is... In the mainline games, where you can do all the competitive, trading, etc., it does more harm than good. Which is kind of the sad part, especially seeing that they don't want anyone besides the champion to use Megas for some reason until frickin' Oraz, but even then, it was only the champion and team leaders. Not enough to truly be like, okay, this could work. And that's one of those things where it's like, there's a limit to how much, and they'd need to find a good balance for it. But I think like in the Legends games, it works perfectly. I think that is the perfect place to keep it. Like, yeah, like, the thing about Necrozma is, if you actually look at Necrozma's, like, whole story, Necrozma isn't as much of a bad guy as people make it out to be. I mean, like, it was keeping light and stuff until it would, and mind you, it was in its other form, like Ultra Necrozma, constantly, practically, until in Ultra Space they started sucking up its power and turned it into what it became. So they basically took Necrozma and basically tortured it for like eons. And then when it stole the light from their area, they were mad, but it's like, you used up every last bit of energy inside of it, and then get mad at it. Like, bro, you did this to yourself. Like, that's what I always think when I see that. But it's like, when Necrozma is sucking up the light, it's trying to get its original form back, because they were using it as a power source, basically. And this hurt it, too. So it was in, like, constant pain for hundreds, if not thousands of years, for all we know. And honestly, I can't blame it. Because doing that and then having all of it sucked out to a point where you're deemed useless and tossed out, it's kind of like, yeah. And the reason it doesn't hate the Sun and Moon Trainer is because instead of just trying to, like, hook it up and stuff to all sorts of stuff, they actually, like, look at it as more than, as, like, just a thing that needs more. Like, in the actual games, like, they realize it's a Pokemon with its own thoughts. Like, it's actually really sad. Because, like, Necrozma is a great example of, like, doomed if you don't, doomed if you do. Because, I mean, it's the whole story of, like, if you've ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's the whole story of, like, put into a prison and then gain a hatred for that person to an extent you basically will attack anyone who sides with them or even is part of that nation, for example, because you blame all of them because none of them tried to stop it, type thing. And honestly, yeah, I see why they would think that. I mean, it's one of those things of a wounded animal. Pumpkaboo's doing a good job picking up them berries. Like, it really does make you feel bad for them when you actually see what happened to them. And I think that makes a great story, is when you can actually, like, empathize with one of those that's not a villain as much as it is, like, you empathize with them, but you understand where they went wrong. That's a good way to do that one. Of course, there's all sorts of stuff. Like, I love making villains. One of the things I plan to do, because now that, like, for example, my party's in the Feywild right now, I plan to use a few different effects, before they get to the place where what they're looking for is. It's one of those things of, I have all these things in order, but it really is up to them if they want to figure out more about, like, this villain or the next villain or what caused this or that. And I like when they do, because it means I get to not only explain more about my world, but it also is one of those things of, there's a lot more behind the scenes. Everyone has a reason for doing something, whether good or bad. And it adds a whole lot to the whole thing of, well, I wonder. Like, that's why I like to look at that stuff and kind of think to myself, okay, what would they do in this situation? Because it is a reasonable question for a lot of, like, people in general. Especially with, like, D&D and stuff, and then ask yourself what you'd do, but also remember the fact that, like, think how much a mind would have been broken. Like, great example, World War II. Like, the amount of people that would sell out others as well, just to keep hope that they wouldn't get affected, when in reality, they were just going to be next on the list. And they were going to use them until they had no more use. Like, it's a cycle. Double battle. Like, there's all sorts of things with that in history. And while sad, it also kind of paints the whole picture of, despite what we think, we can make some pretty rash decisions, even if we don't mean to. But it does add a whole new level of just understanding when you actually get to take that chance to think about it. And it's definitely a worthwhile thing to do. Yeah, like, Necrozma isn't as much of a bad guy as you'd think. I mean, it's a terrifying-ass boss battle. I mean, it gets a dual Omni boost before the fight, and it has such good stats. The only reason I survived the first time with it was just because of the fact that I used Primarina. I chose Poplio my first time. So, and my Primarina just happened to survive it, probably because of EVs. And IVs just being luckily more bulky. But even then, it's like, yeah, you feel bad for it once you do it. Oh yeah, Mimikyu you feel bad for too. Like, Mimikyu's adorable. I like Mimikyu. There are some Pokemon I love so much. Like, I could go on for hours about some of, like, the lore with, like, random Pokemon that are just like, huh. Or, like, for example, all the people who were getting, like, all worked up about the whole Game Freak leak stuff. Like, I tried to stay away from most of it for a good reason, because I don't care enough. But, like, of course you can't avoid some of the stuff, like the Typhlosion stuff, and it's like, fine, I'll read it. And I'm like, of course, one, it was revealed that it wasn't translated correctly fully, and two, it's just mythology light. It's nowhere near as bad as people make it seem, because in all reality, there's way worse in normal mythology. Like, anyone who is taken to, like, oh yeah, this woman gave birth to a slack-off, blah blah blah, or oh yeah, this Typhlosion basically was the husband, etc. It's like, have you read actual mythology? Like, that is nothing. I mean, I think one of the best examples I can give, like, alone, is Loki gave, like, in Norse mythology, Loki gave birth to a wolf, a snake, and then a corpse. Like, there's so much to unpack in that one, like, single thing that it's like, honestly, looking at it, it doesn't surprise me enough to truly make me go, oh, disgusting. No, I've seen worse. I mean, literally read a few stories about Zeus. I mean, Zeus would basically screw with anything. He'd fuck anything if it moved. I mean, that's just how he was in mythology. Like, while sad that it existed, that's just how it was. you yeah, like, if anything, it's literally like some of them were literally just mythologies of like yokai and stuff. Like, or mythologies based around certain like creation-based stories. Like, it wasn't surprising enough to me to be like, oh my god, no, it wasn't enough to make me go, oh my god, disgusting. No, it was enough to make me go, you guys are pissed about this? Like, and I think part of that is because a lot of people don't learn about that nowadays either. So it's not like a very talked about thing, like outside of like Europe and stuff. Like, and like there are certain places that talk more about mythology than others, but America is not one of them. Like most places here don't talk about it for many reasons, but also don't talk about important stuff for many reasons as well. Like, there's a whole thing behind it, but even then, it is an interesting part of, like, our history as a whole is the mythology. Like, one of the most common things in several mythologies and religions is the whole thing of there being a great flood at some point. Like, meaning that it is very possible that, yeah, there was an actual great flood that affected, like, a lot of places around the world. And whether or not it was as great as they say, it's like, we don't know. But it is an interesting thought experiment for yourself if you've never done it, to just kind of look at it and go, I wonder why this was created and what effect it had. Like, because even, like, ancient Egypt, as we call it, I mean, a lot of people don't realize, like, some of the stuff about it, like, North and South, for them, were different than ours. Like, they had a lot of differences. Like, North and South weren't the same as, like, our North and South. But they also were finding ancient artifacts at their time. And it's kind of like, I think that kind of opens up the whole thing of, there's so much that we won't see as well that's ancient, but also stuff that they could have possibly preserved as well. And have preserved, as we've found. Which unlocks a whole new thing of, there's so much we will never know about the world, but it is so interesting nonetheless to look at it and go, what if? Because it is cool. Oh my god, Mimikyu, stop getting paralyzed. Like, I will say that is one of the fun things about doing streams like this, where I'm playing, like, a more chill game and can talk about all sorts of things that interest me, is I can go into a lot of the stuff that is actually, like, really cool to me. Yeah, like, I stayed away from most of the leaks, like, to the best of my ability. Like, I remember one of the leaks, like, I just couldn't avoid some of the leaks, like, the basic story ones, and then, like, the frickin' leaked beta sprites for, like, Gen 3 and Gen 5. Like, those were practically unescapable. Also, welcome on in, Michiryu. Michiryu. I still said it wrong. Michiru. God. But welcome on in. I am not up for speaking, apparently, this morning. Full of all sorts of tongue twisters and tongue ties. Baton or Scopelins? Scopelins is good for crits. Baton is very iffy. Gift item. Okay, what's the present? Amulet coin! Yes! That's awesome! Yeah, people overrate the Typhlosion leak so much. Yeah, Scope Lens is better for, like, higher crit builds. Like, I remember giving a Scope Lens to my 2 cannon with Skill Link and just going with just so many crits. It's okay if you just call me Michi? Okay. That's good to know. Yeah, I really just wish people didn't overplay the whole thing with, oh my god, Mimikyu! Stop missing and paralyzing! What is with you? You found some tech at the recycling center in your city? Nice. I mean, a lot of my recycled tech comes from the fact that my dad's an IT guy and gets so much extra that he's like, if you want, you can look at some of it. Because he ends up donating some of it that he can fix and or works. Oh yeah, I've beaten this game a few times, but yeah, it is a very rough one near the end, especially. I remember when I first played and was like, oh dear god. Like, of course, I still have, like, a lot more battle knowledge than most people, like, normal, like, Pokemon players, purely because I spent time doing actual competitive Pokemon. But even then, it's one of those things of, that only does so much. Even with Stab, this does more. Like, because Stab is 1.5, so it would be 60 base power, which is less than this. But this is also priority, so it's like, if need be, I can always move to it. Oh god, I don't want to die. Cress is probably the worst one for me, surely because I just don't have, like, metal sounds. Special defense does not matter, seeing that most of my ghost types right now, except, like, 3 of the 4 possible ghost types are physical attackers, technically. Like, Pumpkaboo can be either or, technically, but it is more of a support mon. This is an example of, yeah, I'm already dead. Now Mimikyu, are you going to be paralyzed this time? Litwick, Charcadet, or Litten, who's good with crits in the future? So, Charcadet, if you get Ceruledge, would give a lot of crits, possibly. Even Armarouge gets a good few. But Charcadet would probably be the best of those 3, and even then you can always move it. Because Incineroar works better as a support mon in a lot of cases. Because it gets access to, like, Fake Out, Knock Off, Parting Shot, Intimidate. Like, Incineroar is competitively the best starter. We want to go to the lake, because we need ghost types. And I believe this is the easiest way to get to the swamp. Yeah. God, we need an electric type move. But yeah, like, I would say of all of the Pokemon, like, of course my favorite is Noivern. I love Noivern, but I'll admit it's not the best. Like, I've actually thought about Noivern and, like, if I were, like, a gym leader for stuff, like, I know I would be a flying type gym leader. It is my favorite Pokemon type. And, like, I know that depending on which gym I am, I would either be a, my ace would either be Togetic/Togekiss or Noivern. So, like, I know where my love lies for types and, like, stuff. Because I think there's a lot of fun ways you can go about it. With, like, double battles. Like, I love double battles quite a lot. I'd love to play a Pokemon game that's just mainly double battles, in a mainline game at least. You have knowledge compared to trying to put these square blocks into a circle. Don't you know? Everything fits in the square hole. This triangle, it goes in the square hole. This rhombus also goes in the square hole. Remember when that video went around for so long? Ooh, Charizard EX. Nice. So, fun fact, I actually used to do TCG. I still have a few of them. If I dig around... No, it's not in my desk. It is, over on my bookshelf. I actually have, like, several boxes between, like, my bookshelf and other stuff of different Pokemon cards. Like, I have Shiny Raikou from way back. I still have the Victini card, which got released, of course, outside of it, but I have the Victini card specifically that you could only get from going to the Victini movie. I have all sorts of different Shinymon. I have Dark Ivysaur in there, like a bunch of the original ones and stuff. But I would say my favorite of all of them, of the, like, ones I've gotten, is I specifically have this one card that is just one of the info cards around the time that Pokemon 2000 came out, because of the fact that it has, like, the spiky-eared Pichu on it and stuff. Like, I have a few others as well. Like, I have a Fearow card that's semi-transparent that was part of a whole thing back in the day. Like, and I know it's a card that you can get from it because it was a whole event that, like, really failed in the long run. No, it's not the Mew card. I was not lucky enough to get one of those. It was around the time that the internet started having Pokemon content as well. Like, and, like, websites were more common. Like, that early 2000s era. Like, that's just the time frame it was. But I have so many Pokemon cards that I have just, for no good reason other than just having them. Like, I still have the double, like, remember when they did the dual cards where you could get 2 cards in one? So, like, you get 2 different cards and they combine into one. I have the Ho-Oh one. I have half of the Lugia one. And then I have the full Dialga and Palkia one. Like, there are some really good ones there. Oh, shit. Actually, I'm curious. Do you keep pickup? Oh my god, it does. Fum, fum. Ha! Ooh, Tailo is a worry for me, not just because it's a flying type, because if this thing has guts, we're screwed if it gets burned. Because Guts Swellow is actually scary. You only started TCG through Pocket, that's fair. I used to collect a lot of TCG. I stopped around Gen 5 or Gen 6 because I kind of fell out. Like, I knew how to play, not well, but I knew how to play, like, TCG. It's not easy nor difficult. It's kind of that middle ground that's like, eh. Are you serious? Of course the flinch happens to me. If I flinch again, I swear. I've had moments where I have flinched so many times in battle that I have lost my mind because it's like, how? This thing has so much defense, but also the rain does not help. I just need to hope, yeah. I just need to hope for no flinch, no crit. Where are we on terms? Yeah, only... I can Shadow Sneak it, at least. You nickname... Oh yeah, I remember the totem Pokemon. I wish they kept, like, a totem mark and stuff, because that was before marked Pokemon were, like, a big thing. or anything. Like, I think if they had a mark that said Totem, it would have been awesome. Like, that would have been such a cool little thing. And there goes, oh wow, I'm surprised I survived that. I just think it'd been cool. Swallow Guts ability, it was 100 mount battles in Coliseum. Oh yeah. Like, there's a lot of, just overall, there's a lot of good ones and a lot of bad ones. There's no in between. That's just how it be sometimes. Her name was Mimi. That's adorable. Ooh, Leech Seed, that's perfect. I'm gonna get, because I want to keep Spirit Shackle in case, it's just some damage. But Leech Seed's just good for some of, like, the longer boss battles. Base Defense, or Revive Mimikyu. First let's heal, and then Revive Mimikyu, because Mimikyu is good to have. Only did 100 mount battles to get Ho-Oh, it was worth the pain, but never again. Oh, definitely, like, there's only so much that's worth taking the risk for in a lot of these. I will say, one game series that is hit or miss for people, it just depends if you like it or not, is the Mystery Dungeon games. Mystery Dungeon has the best story of any of the Pokemon games, in my personal opinion. It is amazing. Like, the Mystery Dungeon games have such good story. Explorers of Sky is probably the best, if not the best. Like, that one always hits me. Even now. Of course, Black and White and Scarlet and Violet, great mainline stories. They both have their own flaws. Scarlet and Violet's... I feel like if Scarlet and Violet didn't have as many performance issues, it would have been the best Pokemon game in a long-ass time. Ooh, Aloha Mola. I will say this, never underestimate Aloha Mola. Because that thing can be bulky as hell. I've had times where that thing has come out of the woodwork and been like, so, I heard you were talking trash. Boom. And just outlives you. Like, it can actually be very deadly if you aren't careful. Yeah, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, great games. I still have a lot of them. Like, I have a bunch of DS games and stuff near my desk that, like, I didn't give in. Like, I can go over, like, that they wouldn't take. Like, Battle of Giants, Dinosaurs, of course, Skylanders. Anybody remember Skylanders? I even have, like, Scribblenauts, Scrabble, Bejeweled. All sorts of stuff. Frickin' even the old Phineas and Ferb one, if anybody remembers that game. But I have, like, all the mainline Pokemon games on DS and 3DS. Because I never had a Game Boy of my own. So, all the games I personally got to play were ones that I were on the DS and afterwards is when I finally got to personally own. Like, if I open up my drawer and look at my Switch games that I play, it's also next to my controllers. Like, I have all sorts. Ooh, Terra Blast is not bad, but I never get the Terra Orb. The only Pokemon game is Leaf Green for Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Fire Red, Leaf Green stuff. I remember, I still don't, I think I'm gonna go for the speed. But, like, if I pull out and look... Like, with all my Switch games I have in my desk right now, for example. Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Legends Arceus, Let's Go Eevee, Pokemon Snap. Honestly, Pokemon Snap, underrated series in my opinion. Really good series. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Shield, Sword, Scarlet, and Violet, which is inside of my Switch. Because I preferred Scarlet, but I was doing stuff on Violet because I was trying to get a few of the Mon for home that I needed, and they're easier to spawn in one game compared to the other. Um, but like, and that's just the ones I keep in my room. Like, I technically have more that I share. Um, but like, just from that alone, you can tell that like I love to have Pokemon games. Like, if I look up, I have an Articuno plushie above my desk, and if I look behind me, I have a Latios and Latias plushie. And I can look over to the side and I see a Kyogre plushie that I got, an Eevee plushie from Build-A-Bear when that was a thing, during Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. And then and I know I have like a Meloetta and Keldeo hiding somewhere. Like, I have a bunch of the old, like, plushies and stuff too, because I used to collect a few of those. Um, I can even look over at my pin wall and see, like, I have an Arceus one, a Primal Kyogre, and then I know I have, like, Scarlet and Violet ones. I have the old sticker book from back when Black and White came out. Like, Gen 4 was the first game that I got to own myself, and it was fun, but Gen 5 is my favorite. Ooh, Incinerate can be good. But my first ever Pokemon game was Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. That was my first ever set of games. I personally preferred Sapphire. I never played Emerald or Ruby. I only got to play Sapphire. But still, like... Oh yeah, I forgot that Shiny Rayquaza stuff is coming up too. In all honesty, it makes me kind of excited because it's like, cool, free shiny for me. I've been hunting for shiny Rayquaza, like, in the background as like a side thing for me for quite a while, and I've been failing so much. So this is like a free out. Like, if I pull up my Pokemon Home, I can go into all the shinies that I have in there, and that's not even all of them. My first ever shiny that I caught was Latias in Heart Gold Soul Silver, because my dumbass accidentally killed the red Gyarados, and I didn't find out about it until way later, but it respawns if you have killed it. I found that out when I went back to the Lake of Rage, and the reason I accidentally killed it was a crit. It's always the fucking crits. Like, it sucks when that happens, when a crit just, boom. Like, I will admit where I failed on that, but Latias was my first ever shiny I caught, and it was my first non-guaranteed shiny. So I've always considered it my first shiny because of that. Like, but if I go into my Pokemon Home from my phone, because I have the app, I know, I'm a weirdo. But let me just take these guys out. But, like, I can look at all my shinies I have. Like, I got a Horsey. I think the shiny Fennekin is my favorite story because it's so dumb. Like, I literally left my Switch on, went to the bathroom, came back, and get onto Scarlet, and I just see a shiny Fennekin just sitting there, like, going, ah! And I'm like, holy shit, it's a shiny. Like, I got quite a few in Scarlet and Violet. Like, I got Trumbeak. I hunted for a Larvesta. I found a Litleo, a Knackley, Execute, Luxio, Shinx. Like, I hunted for some of these. Of course, I have, like, some gift ones, like Lucario. I have my Riolu from Legends Arceus. I even have my shiny Metagross gift. Of course, you got the Ponyta from Legends Arceus. I got my shiny Golduck from Legends Arceus. Like, I have quite a few Legends Arceus shinies, like Honchkrow, Abra, Dusclops, Croagunk. I will say, Tarantula is such a good shiny, and I'm so happy I have it from Scarvy. Um, of course I got Staraptor, Psyduck. I do have my shiny Turtwig with Pokerus, which, saying that out loud makes it sound so much weirder, because this is from my, like, first ever game. This was my starter. And, like, I don't know how I got the like, I remember, like, I don't remember every bit of getting the shiny. I just remember, like, taking time out of my day to get it, and then just, because I randomly got Pokerus, too. It wasn't, like, a fun thing. I just remember just like, oh, cool, what's this? Like, I got a Venomoth in here, as well as a Wurmple, Nosepass. Sinistcha was actually one that caught me off guard, because it's the Terra Sinistcha, too. So, like, its Terra type is water. And I'm like, oh shit. I also got Slugma in here. Also, have you guys seen Swadloon shiny? Swadloon has such a good shiny, in my opinion. Like, I love Swadloon shiny. Of course, I have Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, Savali, Sigaleo, Yveltal, Xerneas, Tapu Fini, Tapu Bulu, Zygarde, Palkia, Giratina, Fido, another Ponyta, a Beldum, Mienshao, Krabby, Magmar, Magmar Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, Lotad, Nuzleaf, Minun, Mantine, Eevee, Celebi. Like, and that's just what I have in my home. Like, I have a few random shinies that are like, I don't remember getting all of them. Like, most of them I remember, but then there's those few where I'm like, when did I get this again? Mimikyu looks like it's made of chocolate. It really does. I like the custom shinies in this. Like, I know, one of the hardest things for me, has been getting all the damn Alcremie forms. Because I have a living Pokedex in my home, for my Pokemon home. I've been working on a form dex, and I have all the Vivillon. I have most of the Furfrou. I'm missing, like, two of them, which I have on my Pokemon Go. And then I also have, oh yeah, the custom shiny. I haven't seen custom Galarian Moltres yet. My first custom shiny I got was actually Fuecoco. But, and I say this because I hate it so much. They need to get rid of Shiny Lock for non-story-based, like, Pokemon. So, like, the Suicune and stuff, or, like, Raikou, like, all the legendaries in Scarvy that you could find that weren't, like, part of the story. Like, I get why Koraidon and Miraidon weren't. I get why Terapagos and Ogerpon can't be shiny. I'm fine with that. But they shouldn't have shiny locked the encounter ones that were, like, DLC stuff. I actually haven't looked that up, that stuff up, mainly because I want to surprise myself, with some of the shinies. Because eventually I do want to try and get each of the shinies in this, like, eventually. Night Slash is pretty good. Like, these are literally the same, except one does more than the other. This helps with fighting types, which don't really affect me. I need things for, like, fire types, dark types. Like, I need things that help against what I'm weak to. So I'm gonna go with dark. Because at least that helps with other ghost types. Mimikyu's Disguise. Oh, we got Team Aqua. You know, this is actually pretty cool. And I do like that you can get, like, the actual themes. Now, here's the question. Is this the Team Aqua from Oraz, or the Team Aqua from Ruby and Sapphire? Because those are two different Team Aquas. I'm just gonna scratch Horsey. Don't click on Giant, because the auto text has a lot of helpful stuff, like wondering what certain Pokemon can learn. So, the way that they do this is they use the move pools of all the Pokemon from, like, the newer generations, I've noticed. And then you get the egg moves, which are custom. And the only ones that aren't, like, Generation 9 based are, like, the Pikachu and Eevee ones. Like, it is their most recent incarnation, basically. Like, that is what I have personally noticed. And I think that just says more about the fact that I can remember that. Like, I don't know why I remember it, but I do. Of course! Why wouldn't I get poisoned? But yeah, like, Night Slash, and then... Fuck. No matter who I switch to, they're both weak. But they can at least tank a hit. Really? I don't know what it is about Gulpin, but Gulpin always seems to give me more issues than it should. And I really dislike that. Like, I never understood why. Mimikyu's dead. Like, Honedge is my main attacker, and... Oh my gosh. And there goes Mimikyu. At least Gourgeist has pickup. I'm gonna at least full heal Gourgeist, because that's the least I can do. Okay, Psyduck and Tympole. That's not bad. And then just Razor Leaf. Cool, both are dead. Yeah, still surprised how bulky Swalot can be. Yeah, Swalot and Gulpin can really be bulky. Like, there's some Mon you would not expect to be as bulky as they can be. Like, I do like seeing Mon that kind of do stuff like that. Ooh, Croagunk. If it survives, I'll try to catch it. Oh, it's not gonna survive this. Yeah, Swallow can eat a lot. I remember when Explosion would cut... I remember back in my day, when Explosion would cut the user's defense in half when being used. Same thing with, frickin'... just... what's it called? Self-destruct. Like, it was a whole thing. I might as well at least level up Crocolore, who is very much behind. Ooh, Oricorio! Oh my gosh. I want to catch this one, because it's actually, like, really good. I just need to be careful how much I deal. Oh, that's gonna kill. Oh, it has adaptability. Wait, I didn't realize I had so little health. I always forget about that. Yeah, that one's on me. Because I wanted the Oricorio, and I didn't think about it beforehand. I like my eggs vouchered, please. I could go for a bug type run. I could go back to one of them. Electric is another one that's actually, like, really fun. Like, look at all of the electric types you get access to. So, if I'm gonna do this, get rid of Tackle for Strength Sap. I'll take Shinx. Of course I'm gonna take Ice Punch. That's great. Joltik could be good. Electivire's eh. Bustle and Maimin. Helioptile is actually a really fun one. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. I always hear that whenever I see its evolution, Heliolisk. Okay, so I have Dry Skin and Sandveil. I guess I'll keep Dry Skin? Because there's not a high chance I'm gonna get hit by Fire-type moves. Do I have any special attack? Okay, no. Hardy's probably my best for this guy. Ball Fetch. I kinda want this for ground types. Let's see. Why do I have so many attack and defense-based ones? There, I'll take Calm, I guess, and then, Electro Ball is not worth it. Thunder Cage is good. And I'm gonna keep Supersonic. And, boom. Because this is gonna be actually a good one. What's one Pokemon you're surprised you like, if that's a thing? Like, that was a thing back in, like, the early generations, where Explosion would half your defense, the user's defense, and target's defense. Fuck, I keep misspeaking. It was a thing for a while. I don't remember when it got removed. It was, like, somewhere between Gen 3 and 5 area. It was somewhere in that area, 3 to 5. Because I know it was around the time of abilities and physical special split. And then I know, one Pokemon that was, like, surprisingly good back then, too, was, like, just the Golem line was pretty good. Like, there were a lot of good Mon already because of that, which definitely helped. Also, the reason I chose Tynamo as well, it has Levitate. It's immune to ground types. It has no weakness. Ooh, a Max Lure! Jinx! I can do that, and then I can do Zippy Zappy! Oh shit, I forgot to change Rivalry out for Intimidate. Well, that's gonna suck. But thankfully it won't have much of an effect on Eternatus, because if a Pokemon doesn't have a gender and one of the other Pokemon has Rivalry, it's just like it has no ability. PP. Sorry. I'm gonna do it on Palmy's Drain Punch. Because Drain Punch is just good. And unironically, I do like the Palmot line. Like, I actually do like the Palmot line. I got to use it personally. It is actually really good. Like, yeah, the middle stage is not really needed, but it's a good line in terms of it's just stuff it can learn. I remember when I first played this game when it first came out, as a thing that started becoming more popular, and I remember seeing it and just thinking to myself, interesting. Because it actually, like, caught me off guard, because I never expected to see, a Pokemon roguelike. And, like, yeah, since those days, it has lost a lot of people who just don't play it anymore because it's not popular. And honestly, I like it. I think it's really improved, especially since that point. Like, when it first came out, it has improved a lot. Like, adding critical captures, adding more animations to more Pokemon, adding all sorts of new stuff. Like, it's so much less barren than when it first came out. None of these are really worth it. Speed for special defense. I already have pretty shit special defense, so with Shinx, so I might as well. And Charge Beam. Zippy Zap. But, like, having an Ice type or Water type move, or even Grass type move to help with ground types is very nice. Has done something the game hasn't done a while, make me come back 5 days later. Well, keep playing for 5 days. Yeah, like, that's one of the nice things about Pokerogue, is it actually makes you want to come back. Because it's fun. And it adds stuff that normal Pokemon doesn't have. Like, Game Freak sits on a gold mine that they could make into so much better if they put in the time and effort. And if they did, it would change so much. They could do so much more with Pokemon if they put the work into it. Like, if they took time, for example, to actually, like, make sure their games are well designed, well thought out, etc., it would go great. They don't need to have realistic graphics. That's one of the things I hate about a lot of stuff in new games, is the sheer amount that are like, we need to have realistic graphics where you can see every hair on the animal fur, every bit, every pore on their skin. Like, no. I like games that are stylized. Like, if Pokemon stayed in 2D, it would have been fine, but they don't give themselves enough time. Like, that is one of the biggest issues I have. They don't give themselves the time they need. And they need it. Like, badly need it. Like, I love Pokemon. I really, really do. But sometimes it's like, really? Because I know one of the Pokemon games, like, we've seen some of the beta stuff. We know there's a lot behind the scenes. But they could do so much better. And I think any normal person agrees with that. Is they could do a lot better. And I want to see them do better. Because Pokemon is a cool series in its own right. And of course, like, if they take more time and stuff, and actually make good games, they'll notice that it does help them positively. Like, that's one of the things that is, like, really important with, like, gaming, is you can promote as much as you want through ads, but that is nothing compared to word of mouth. Oh shit, one of the egg moves V-Create? So, fun fact about that, Rayquaza used to actually have access to V-Create at one point. It was back in, like, Gen 6 or 7, if I remember correctly. It actually had access to that, which I just find to be really interesting. Just like a little interesting factoid. Like, there's a lot of Pokemon that had access to stuff that they probably shouldn't have, but they still do. Or just don't anymore. Like, there are some that should have access to stuff as well. But they never really do. I will say, like, I have thought about, like, going into game settings here and just going, like... Because I like battle style set. Like, I really do. But I don't know what actually caused it to, Because I believe if I go to Switch... I don't know if it affects trainer battles at all. Like, that's the one thing I just never have tried. And I'm kind of curious. Fun fact of the day. Yep, basically. Like, there's a bunch of fun little facts about some of the stuff with, like, Pokemon in general. Like, here's one fact that I can guarantee most people don't know who aren't a weirdo like me, who know way too much about Pokemon. Did you know if a Pokemon uses Minimize, if a Pokemon uses Minimize, if you use Heat Crash or, like, Stomp, they become 100% accurate to a Minimized Pokemon. Okay, it doesn't affect trainer battles? That is good to know. Because just having that ability to switch on, like, basic Pokemon is nice. Because then I get to, like, switch around, like, how my Pokemon are positioned. Which is kind of what I want. But, like, it's so weird to me, even now, just seeing it and being like, huh. Because, yeah, like, if a Pokemon uses Minimize, it makes sense that Stomp becomes 100% accurate because you're basically just stepping on them. Like, it's quite funny. Yeah, it's weird. Like, it is one of the ways to get around accuracy drops. Like, there are very few moves that have that ability. And some of which literally only have that ability in one way or another. Yeah, Thunderclap's literally just Sucker Punch. Like, another one that's, like, pretty, weird is the whole toxic stuff. So many more Pokemon used to have access to it for a long time. And it used to be just 100% accurate. But then it lost that accuracy thing. I don't have anything that Dynamaxes, but it does take it out of the frickin' pool. And there, if I get Toxtricity, that would be pretty good. Like, I love the black and white music for trainer battles. There's just something about it that always is so fun to me. Do 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 do. Like, there's a whole thing of, like, that I remember from choir specifically was sometimes making a melody to a song is a good way just to warm up. So, like, listening to a song that you listen to a lot, and then adding another melody to it that, like, or a complementary, like, melody to it, can work in a lot of cases and help. Which is the weirdest way I've been told about it, but also one of the most ingenious ways I have actually learned to help myself with that stuff. Which I think is really cool. Let's take out Zigzagoon first, preferably. But yeah, like, I can remember a lot of the most random shit sometimes, like, and I know the brain does that, where, like, sometimes you'll remember, like, a really embarrassing moment from, like, God knows how long ago. But there's also times where my brain's just like, I wonder whatever happened to that one person who took your order, like, 3 years ago. Like, I don't know. But it's actually gotten me to, like, talk to some of the old people I used to know and stuff, like, actually look up what happened to some of them. And I think one of the most satisfying things is knowing that some of the people who were just awful back in the day got what was coming to them. Like, the people that were just a-holes to everyone. Just knowing that they got what they deserved in the long run is so satisfying. Because it's one of those things of, it means they played stupid games and won stupid prizes in the long run. And it caught up to them. Like, no matter what happens, you can never fully escape that stuff. Whether you want to or not. Because I still remember, like, some of the stuff from middle school and high school that were like, dear God, why did we do this? When you're about to fall asleep and your brain's like, huh, I wonder what happened to that person who accidentally mistake you for someone else. Yeah, that's another one of those things. I've had points where I've mistaken people for other people because... And I remember seeing this one thing, and I was like... And it was online, and it was one of those transition posts showing like the whole transition thing. And I didn't say anything on it because I just liked it and went onward because I didn't... And it's the craziest thing because the person looked like my partner, but then at post-transition looked like a younger version of my mom, and I'm just like, how did they go from one person, from looking like one person I care a lot about, to another person I care a lot about? I'm just like, how in the hell? Like, I wish I had genes that made me look that good. Like, in all honesty. But I was just here like, why do they look so freaking similar? What the hell? It was super weird. Like, it caught me off guard so much. Because, like, whenever you get caught off guard by something like that, it's always at the weirdest times, too. Like, that's what I've found, is it's always, like, the most random, like, out-of-pocket times when it's like, I don't need this right now. But it happens. Like an uncanny kind of similar? Yeah, like, uncanny kind of similar. Like, to an extent where, for a moment, like, I only saw the first picture and was like, when did my partner get an account? Like, because my partner doesn't use a lot of social medias either. Like, for good reason, honestly. Like, social media sucks sometimes. You should always take breaks from it, periodically, for your own mental health. Like, because it can really be bad for you sometimes. If you don't take care of yourself like that. But I remember it, and I remember just being like, what in the hell? Because it always caught me off guard. Oh, God. Fairy type ones, okay. Perfect! Yay! Earth power does more. Ba-da-ba-da. Ooh, crit. Are you serious? How come whenever... Like, so this has happened to me so many times now, where it's just been like, oh yeah, when my opponent uses Sing, I always manage to fall asleep. And same thing with any other status move. Like, most of the time they end up hitting, and it's so annoying. Because it's like, how do they keep hitting? Because it gets really annoying after a certain point where you're just like, really? I need health, and then I'll just... And Poochyana's dead. Like, Palmy is probably going to be my main, like, attacker. Just Hydro Steam again. And there goes Helioptile. See what I mean by the Palm line is just, like, really good. Like, it is going. I might as well at least do this, because I want to save my coins best I can, but... because if I can take out Lechonk, that's good. You're not going to covet anything from me, because Lechonk gets Mud Shot. That's why I was trying to take it out first. That would be broken. If it got a kill and got its, disguise back, that would be pretty broken. You know, let's try a dragon type. Like, look how many dragon types are legendary. Like, of course, I'm going to use Noibat. It's great when it becomes a Noivern. Nasty Plot isn't really worth it. Sheerly because of the fact it is a bit frail. Do I have, no, I don't yet. Like, I have quite a few. Like, you can tell, like, I don't have all of them, but Tatsugiri could be good. Let's do this. Flower Trick? Oh, Lord. Manage moves. So if I go... The issue is... Applin has a very odd way of going about it. Also, the fact that they have Pokemon that can become Mega in here, it's like... The chances of that are so tiny. Like, bro. Evolves to be Dragon, evolves to be Dragon. Starts Dragon. Now see, if I could get the Reckless ability, or like, if I could get Rockhead on this, that'd be awesome. I don't remember if it gets Rockhead. Paper Cutter's alright. If I could get Megas with this, Mega Altaria is really good. And I can run an Arcaludon. So, I'll just start with Tachyon Cutter, because why not? Because Arcaludon is closer to a special attacker. Ice Beam? Just straight away for Swablu? Like, that is awesome. Because it becomes a great special attacker when it evolves. Body press. Because even with light metal, like, it's based off your defense. Ooh, Jesus! Core Enforcer! Let's grab a lure. Oh no, these two are screwed. Soundproof and chlorophyll. Good thing I can do that, because then I can just body press and then just like, Noivern is a very fun mon to use, in my opinion. Noibat, you adorable little bean. Oh my god! I gain more defense and lose my attack. Neutral. More more defense over attack? Or, no, more attack over defense. Or more defense over special defense. I'm giving it to Duraludon, because that's just... with body press, it's just... Duraludon... Yeah, like... I can see what you mean with the whole Conkeldurr Girder with Recover. That makes sense. Whether I get Archaludon or I get Gigantamax, both work amazingly here. Attack on Cutter hits twice, so... It's Iron Crown's signature move. He's special attack up. This Duraludon is gonna be so scary for anyone that comes across it. It did one! Oh my god, it's avoiding my attacks. No, don't do this to me. Oh lordy. Memory Mushroom is useless at this point. Like, we are so early in the game. Runaway and Shield Dust. Wow, how useful. Just because it's funny. Just... I'm actually getting really lucky with those hits on Aeroblast. Like, in all honesty, I am getting pretty lucky. Citrus Berry, cause why not? Dup, 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 dup. Cause, like, I do have a lot of fun with, these types of games. And yeah, I can easily just... The actual in-game animation for that, like, when it first came out, was so crazy. It's literally just... Kaboom! Like, that's basically what it was. It was freaking insane. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh, beautiful. Oh, Delibirds. Another amulet coin. Honestly, 2 amulet coins on floor 11? Mwah. That was like a really good roll. I am not a king. I am not a god. I am Duraludon. You know, one thing I could totally do is I could totally name, like, different Pokemon after, like, different, like, followers or, like, subscribers in the future and stuff. Like, and then people can claim, like, certain lines. Or something for, like, if we do Pokerogue, or even, like, for example, someone can claim, like, it could go by encounters if we're doing, like, a randomizer or something. Like, there's a lot of ways we could go about that that would be pretty fun. Normally I miss Aeroblast, like, so often. Like, I don't normally hit as much as I already have. Normally I've used all of it and not hit once. Like, that's my type of luck. Supersonic. Not bad, but no. Like, Noivern is a very fast glass cannon type, which is both good and bad in its own regards. Oh, let's do this. Sorry I keep yawning. I honestly don't know why I keep yawning. My body just like, yawn. Then again, I didn't sleep too well. Could be why. Damn it, why didn't you sleep well? Yeah, I've been working a bit, like, I know I put it on the Discord, for the sub-badges, because I was like, I had some ideas, and I was like, you know what, I might as well ask if they like any of these. But one of the things I've been meaning to do is actually, like, go back and, of course, finish them. Like, I asked people, like, which they would choose, and of course, that's good. You know, I'm gonna take the Eviolite just to have, like, if we run into something that's like, give it an item, we'll give it the Eviolite. Plus, Eviolite's gonna help a lot with dragon types, with how long it can take sometimes. Oh, this is gonna hurt. They're dead. Like, there's no surviving. Bye, Butterfree. Bye-bye, Butterfree! And Beedrill's gonna take a lot and possibly die. I don't know for sure. I keep seeing Mist and thinking of Haze. Like, damn it. Like, oh lordy. I will mention, because I did forget to mention this earlier, the reason I chose not to, move on to the next game today was because it's going to be a shorter stream day. I did forget to mention that. I just have a lot on my mind. A lot of stuff to do, and blah, blah, blah. But one thing I've actually thought about doing, and it's really up to if people are interested, I've actually thought about booting up Binding of Isaac again for some streams, resetting one of my files, and, like, going for Dead God on stream. Like, I think that could be a fun thing. Like, especially with all the multiplayer stuff now, we could have, like, some streams where it's like, oh yeah, I also invited a friend. Like, that could be cool. Of course, it's not a guarantee, but it could be a thing where, like, maybe I have a friend on, if, like, any of them are free. Like, it's only an idea, but I think it could be a little bit of fun if everyone is into it. I know, because I like the Binding of Isaac, and as much as I've already dead godded, like, I still have the new multiplayer achievements they added, which I'll get in time. But I think it would just be kind of fun. Like, yeah, Binding of Isaac is a pretty weird, but kind of grotesque game in its own regards. I mean, literally one of the things you have to kill is Mom's heart. Like, that's its name. Like, it's a very, like, weird, fucked up game in its own regards. and it has a lot of, like, darker themes, but it's a fun game nonetheless. It's a good roguelike. And even then, it gets me to playing it again, because I really do enjoy playing it, but I just never can find the time, and I think it'd just be a fun way to get some time to do it. Because there are a lot of fun games out there that I would highly recommend. But yeah, because I know one of the games that is gonna be coming up is Astroneer, if any of you guys have heard of that. Because that's one of the things I do want to actually play on stream is Astroneer, because I've never played it. I tried once, back when I still was on my laptop, and it just didn't work. Because my laptop did not like it. It would not load fully. Unironically, over Metal Claw, I think it is worth having Metal Sound because I'm a special attacker. And that's by 2 stages that we're lowering it. So, like, that's, like, actually good. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Swablu. And the Eviolite just makes me bulky. Bup bup bup. Ba-da 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 ba 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 ba. Ba-da 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 ba ba. Ba-da 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 ba-da. Ba-ba-da ba-da 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 ba-da. Da-ba-da-ba-da ba-ba-da ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Ba-da ba-ba-da. Ba 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 da da ba 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 da 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 ba da 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 ba da ba da ba da ba 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 da ba 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 da. I love humming along to songs and just like being a weirdo. There's just something fun about it. But yeah, I will take that. That is... Noivern is special. Tachyon Cutter. Vroom, 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 vroom. So, I feel like I should mention this. Because tomorrow we have Terraria and stuff. I know, like, today and the upcoming days, I don't know how it's gonna go fully yet, but I will have to see. I think I might give... All of these are special attackers. Noibat is my only other one I can really use for right now, so I'll give it Dragon Pulse over Gust. But, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff in my personal life that's been going on. All sorts of random shit, mainly. My back is slowly doing better, though. That's the good part. It's not 100%, but it's still better than it once was. I know I have a lot of random things that I just, like, pass through my mind. And my brain is just fried in its own regard. Because I did not sleep enough. That definitely is probably part of it. But I saw this thing, and I actually have debated, some of the stuff I've been looking at for games. Because I've been going through a few of them. And depending on what happens, I've debated looking at possibly, in the future, like, looking into getting a Switch that, like, a non-Switch Lite, specifically, that I could play, like, some of those games on stream as well. So, like, we could do a shiny hunting stream, for example. Or, like, do a stream where we're just, like, chilling and playing Mario Party, for example. Like, stuff like that. I mean, it's not 100% that it would happen, but it's just some of the ideas I kind of have been going through my, over and over in my head. Like, So I could do this, 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 this. Like, there's a lot of games out there. Like, I could technically pull out, like, my bag of CDs, and we could play some old games. Like, I think I have, like, Lego Star Wars on there. I know I have, like, Putt Putt's Adventures and stuff. Like, I know that's in there somewhere because I remember my sister playing it and stuff. Um, those were interesting games. I remember them pretty well. Also, I like how we had the music from, I believe um, that was specifically the one from Heart Gold Soul Silver, if I remember correctly. But like, there's a lot of games I've actually had on my list of like, maybe. Like, that's why I like when like people recommend stuff, because like I do look into them. Like, I have a list of games and I need to go through it again. Like, I know Phasmophobia is one of those games that, as much as I like playing it, I prefer it more with friends. Like, and if I were to get some friends together, I'd totally play it again. The hard part is getting those friends, especially ones that are not noobs or somewhat competent. And I mean that in the nicest way. Because we all have that one friend that is always way too scared to go back in the house and then just leaves without thinking twice or like registering what ghost it is. That if they're watching this, they know who they are. Even if they're watching the VOD, that you know who you are. Oh lord. Dynamax Band is not bad for this run. Because there are quite a few Pokemon that can Gigantamax for us. Are you freaking serious? But I remember what's his face. Oh my god. I can't remember his name. What the hell? Frickin' kid from Winnie the Pooh. Frick. Oh my god, but I remember when that came out for like... Ooh, Team Star! Christopher Robin, thank you. I remember when the movie came out, the live action one, like I remember going to see it and just like and I recently have been kind of going through some of my old stuff. I found some of the old VHS tapes that I had of Winnie the Pooh. And I'm like, I kind of wish I had a thing where I could actually, like, look at some of these. Because I do miss it. Like, unironically, I would love to look at some of those. Also, freaking, this theme is a freaking banger. Like, Team Star's music, like, in canon, was created by as like, I know it's Giacomo or something like that, but I always call him Guacamole, and I don't know, like, just something in my brain connected him with Guacamole, and I've never seen it the same ever since, so I just call him Guacamole half the time. Like, most of the time, actually, but, canonically, he's the one who made all the music for Team Star, and when you actually are fighting, like, the Team Star bosses and stuff, that music is actually happening in-game as well. Like, I find that to be such a cool little piece of lore that's, like, it's not necessary, but it's a cool bit of lore that adds more to just the whole thing. Like, I love bits of, like, semi-useless lore that add more to the whole thing of, like, yeah, there's a lot, actually, that we may not realize, but it's still pretty freaking cool. Um, Also, I'm just curious if, because I remember this, from Old Winnie the Pooh, and I don't know for sure if I was just high as hell and not realizing, like high as hell off, like, my weird, older, young child-esque brain or what, but I remember it, very vividly. It was a Winnie the Pooh, either movie or episode where they met a heffalump. Like, I remember it so vaguely, but it's like, I don't know if it's real because I tried looking into it, but I couldn't find anything because I didn't have enough time. But I was here like, I want to know, was it real? Am I going insane? Like, you get me? Because I am curious if it was real or not. Because that was always one of those things that I was like, what if it isn't? What if I was just crazy? Like, there's so many of those types of things in the world where it's like, I remember it, but I can't find shit about it. And that's just happens to be one of those. Come on, Noibat. No! Noibat! Core Enforcer and Dragon Pulse. Stop paralyzing everything! There. Frickin' Rotom. The fact that Noibat and Duraludon are doing so well is nice. Maybe it was an episode lost time. It really could be. Like, I remember so many random things that, like, most people probably won't, who aren't from, like, my age group. Or even that most people might not know, even in my age group. Like, does anybody remember Boomerang? Because I remember when that first, like, I remember, like, that being, like, a popular thing at one point. Because I always wondered what happened to Boomerang. Like, it was always one of those things of, whatever happened to Boomerang? Because I haven't heard about it in, God, how many years now? I think the last time I heard of it was, like, 2010s area? Like, that's the last time I heard of Boomerang. Of course, Cartoon Network, I remember very well, like, back when it still did a lot more, like, Adult Swim and wasn't full of, like, Teen Titans Go and stuff. Back in the old days. Like, I remember a few of them, I just never knew what happened to some of it. Makes me kind of curious. Because, like, I am curious on what happened to some, like, the old shows I used to watch, too. Because, like, some of them I just fell out of watching, and I just never saw them again. And then there's others that I do know what happened, like, one show I can remember pretty well, Kim Possible. Cyber Chase is another one. Like, my guess is Cyber Chase is, like, finished by now. But it does make me wonder whatever happened to it, because I never did figure out what happened in it. Like, because I remember when that was, like, a thing. Cyber Chase? You've never heard of Cyber Chase? Cyber Chase, we're moving. We're beating Hacker at his game. I don't know what the rest of that because my brain doesn't remember the frickin' like, that was one. Zaboomafoo's another one I remember. I remember when Wildcrats became a thing. Um, I also remember when Dinosaur King became... I also remember Dinosaur King, that's another one. Most people probably will never know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, Dinosaur King is your destiny. Make your move, wanna make your move. Like, Dinosaur King was one I remember very well. It was, like, think Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon had a child with a Beyblade. It was kind of like that. Like, they would get stored in cards, there were baby versions of the dinosaurs, and it was all about trying to get, like, certain dinosaurs. Calcium and protein. Eh. Not the best, but not the worst. Motham. Swallow. Ooh, Swarm. But, like, I remember seeing it and just thinking to myself, you know, I really wish Dinosaur King got a frickin', like, ending that was, like, more fitting, because I believe it got canceled. Or, like, ended early. Something like that. Like, that was another one that I feel like could have done really well, because, fun fact about Dinosaur King, one of the main villains, was voiced by the same voice actor as Jessie from Pokemon. Like, they had similar voice actors to Pokemon as well. Like, there were a few of those. And I remember just looking at it. Like, because I remember it. Like, I remember a bunch, like, of course you got Kim Possible. Frickin' Read Between the Lions, I believe it was called. Like, there's a bunch of those that I remember from, like, God knows how long now. Like, there's a lot of old shows and stuff I remember. Mr. Ed's one that's, like, memorable beyond belief for me. I used to watch it a lot. Mr. Peabody. If you know Mr. Peabody. Rocky and Bullwinkle. Oh, those were classics. What? Or, Animaniacs is another one that's really good. Guys, we're Animaniacs. Like, oh, that... Like, there's so many classics in there that I remember. It does make me wonder, like, about... And, like, debate going back and frickin' looking at some of them. Like, even to this day, I'm like... There's always that part of me that's like, would you like to take a survey? If you remember that episode, like, making you feel old. I mean, this is stuff I remember quite a lot about, because I grew up, like, around some of this stuff. Also, I always hated the thing, when people were like, oh, blank, insert next generation doesn't know how to work insert thing they don't need to use anymore. Like, we moved past that a long time ago. Like, I may know how to use a rotary phone, but let's be honest, who is going to use a rotary phone in this day and age? Like, I don't think I have ever needed to use one. In God knows how long. Like, cell phones have existed for long enough now. And, like, landlines. Like, rotary phones, not really been needed. Like, it's one of those things where some stuff has just fallen out of style and or isn't used anymore. And that's okay. Like, I remember, some of the early stuff, yeah. Of course, doesn't mean it's any better, but... I remember, there was this one show, and I don't remember the name of it, Um, and if you can tell me what it is, that'd be awesome. It was this freaking little monkey creature. I don't remember what their name was, but I remember them freaking being like a chaotic little shit, is probably the best way to put it. And I remember them getting into all sorts of hijinks. And they had two friends, one that was smart. Of course, you always have to have the smart one. And then the other one who was kind of like very technical, more like someone who's like good at like craftsmanship and stuff. And I remember them being, and they were animal characters. I don't remember the one for the scientist, but like the scientist smart one. But I remember the crafty one, I believe, was a bunny? I think? I think it was a bunny. Honestly, it was hard to tell because of the style, but... And I'm also starting to second guess myself. But, like, there's a lot of those that I'm like, ooh, shit, whatever happened to it? Like, I remember a few of the old stuff, but... Like, and I know I'm gonna remember it at, like, the most random fucking time ever. Because that's always how it ends up going. Because it's gonna be like, oh, fuck! Um... Ba-da-ba-do-boo. Boo-doo-boo-doo. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. I've already caught a Kartana, and I don't want to deal with it. Also, did you know Shiny Meloetta is now finally available for people to get? Um, the reason I mention that is because, and it may be weird after dealing with Kartana, the reason I mention it is because despite being the first games without Ultra Beasts, Gen 9, if you complete its Pokedex, like, if you put in every Pokemon from the Pokedex into your Pokemon home, you actually will get a, like, Shiny Meloetta. Like, that's how I got my special form of Magearna, was the living dex I had. But there's so... But I remember, Ultra Beasts, because by that point, I was out of competitive. I was just, like, because the Megas and stuff, I was just out of competitive, because I'm like, nope, I don't want to deal with this shit. And I remember the Ultra Beasts, because they actually took over dealing with Megas in some cases. Which was so fucking nice for a change. Like, it's... I still remember it very well. But god am I happy it's freaking over with the frickin' Megas in my own ways. Like, I remember when Ultra Beast came out, and I remember this, because people were all like, oh, these aren't Pokemon, or, oh, these look like Digimon. Like, that's a thing that happens all the fucking time. It's the same thing with people who hate Objectmon. It's like, you completely miss the point that it's commonplace in, like, a lot of, like, Japan and, like, China and, like, places like that. Like, objects coming to life is not a surprising thing on the other side of the world. Like, that's the whole point. Like, yokai are mainly objects that come to life or, like, gain sentience through energies. Like, for example, a doll not getting enough love, and it gets pissy, and then it eats it, and then it eats the child that threw it away, or something. I wish I was shitting you. This is the type of stuff that you get used to hearing when you look through, like, actual, like, weird lore shit. But, like, I remember a lot of it and just being like, Altaria! Yes! Finally! I didn't even notice the level it was at. I just kind of gave it to it because it's always been falling behind. Finally! Dragon Pulse! It's better than Dragon Breath, minus the lack of paralysis chance, but... Ooh boy. And now, Noibat, you can take a little seat. Body Press and Ice Beam. This Altaria is thinking nasty. But, I remember when I first, started getting interested in, like, learning about, like, different lore of things was way before it was before I fully got into history, as a whole. But I remember being really interested in, like, the lore of some places. Like, I always found that type of stuff interesting. But one thing I remember very well was the specific talks about, like, why certain lore was created. And how, and, like, even if we don't fully know it, like, the theories. And yokai are some of the most interesting ones, because they are probably the most unknown, yet well-known at the same time, like, because of just some of the stuff, or, like, Jin are another one that a lot of people don't know about, but, like, they know about, like, some types of them, like, Succubus were Jin. They weren't demons. They were Jin. And I love stuff like that, that's like, you don't realize that you knew that. Favorite mythical creature. Oh, now that is a difficult one. Because you have to classify what counts as a mythical creature as well. Because Scotland's, like, animal, like, the animal of Scotland is a unicorn. So it's kind of like, at what level of mythical? Because if we're talking about, like, scary mythical creatures, or, like, interesting ones, there's so many. Like, the easy answer is dragon. Like, that's the easy answer. Like, ooh, kitsunes are good, but one that I personally find interesting just because it's lore is the Kelpie. And it, like, it's not my favorite. Like, I really like dragons, and I really like Kelpies. It's hard to choose a favorite for me. Like, I would say my favorite, like, mythical creature is more of a concept of mythical things. Oh, the Kelpie? You've never heard of a Kelpie? Oh boy, do I have a show for you. Let me pull up a picture of a Kelpie. And I will show it on stream. So Kelpies are actually, like really creepy. Because they're from Scottish, mythology. And there's been multiple art pieces done about them. Because they are basically, horses that walked on water and could, do all sorts of stuff, like go underwater, etc. And this is less about living under a rock and more of, like, you have to know about it to, like, truly know. Like, this is a Kelpie. Not the best, like, quality of image, but that's a Kelpie. Basically, it's said that if you found one, um, it would disguise itself as a horse, basically. Which makes a lot of sense. I mean, look at it for a moment. I mean, yeah. It doesn't look that scary. Because what it does is it wants to disguise itself as a horse. While it is disguised as a horse, it will try and get someone to ride on it. And if you get on its back, you will become stuck. And it will take you out into the water and drown you. That is what the Kelpie does. So it literally will, like, if you get on its back, it will trap you and then literally take you to your death by drowning. Like, it is terrifying. The dots, yeah, that's about the right reaction. They don't look scary, but they are scary. Because their whole point is tricking you into getting on its back thinking it's a normal horse. Just so they can do that, because, yeah. They aren't good. They're pretty fucking crazy. And I remember seeing some of the stuff and just thinking to myself, oh! Like, the Kelpie is a good example of, don't fuck with mythical creatures. Like, don't. But, like, there's a lot of cool ones nonetheless. Like, of course, dragons, that one's an easy, oh yeah, that's a really cool one. Like, that one's the easiest to say. Yeah, I like dragons. Phoenixes are pretty cool. Of course, kitsunes are awesome as well. Like, there's so many different interesting mythical creatures. But I think I have to... the definition of mess around and find out. Yeah, basically. I mean, another one that's a really good one, Minotaurs, Hydras, like, there's so many good mythical creatures out there that it's hard to choose. And that is what makes it so hard. Because I love mythical creatures. I love that stuff. Like, I always found that stuff entertaining, interesting, etc. And I would say my favorite is hard to choose because of that. Like, Kelpies are definitely my favorite from Scotland. Like, that I will say, because it just catches you so off guard when you figure it out. You're just like, oh. Well then. Oh boy, here we go again. Oh baby. Like, that's how it feels. But it doesn't stop it from being absolutely insane. Like, because there's other stuff that are mythological creatures that are cool, like Jormungandr is, like, even if it's part of the Norse mythology and stuff, it's like, it's a giant snake that wraps around the world. Or the Leviathan from the Bible, that basically was like, oh yes, Leviathan. Like, there's several versions of quote-unquote Leviathan in the Bible and in text. Like, there's the demon, which is basically one of the demon lords if we're going by other things outside the Bible as well. And then there's also the Leviathan creature that it did a lot of weird stuff in the Bible. I'll just say that, because I don't think I can say all of it on Twitch. At least probably expect to be evil. Like, there's a lot of good ones out there. Like, you got the Wendigo, which are formed from cannibals. You got... Ooh, what's another good one? Like, there's a lot of them, and the hard part is choosing. But one, like, for example, you got, like, Jinn, which are normally seen as evil. But actually they aren't as evil as people realize. That's one of them. That actually is, like, really weird. Like, it's also how they explained people who had weird abilities and/or mental issues was, oh, they're part Jinn. And Jinn were known to, like, just randomly impregnate humans. You know, as you do, apparently. Frickin' Jinn are weird. Ooh, Roost. No. About to get a Noivern here. Like, there are so many... Like, demons weren't necessarily evil originally, either. Another one, like, that's, like, Medusa and Gorgons. Medusa is less of an evil person, and more of a, like, she got fucked over by the gods, and then eventually got killed by it, killed for it. Like, he got fucked over in so many ways, it was just sad. Like, and it's the same way with a bunch of things. I know another one I can think of is, frickin'... Oh my god. This is one that always has pissed me off. And it is the sheer amount of people that think Hercules is Greek. The Greek version is Heracles. Hercules was a completely different one. Was from Rome. Completely different one. I will take that Flapple if you give it to me, Milo. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if I had a map, I know where I'd be wanting to go. Noivern! Yay! Noivern! Yay! Noivern! But yeah, like, I love frickin', like, I love a lot of those bits of weird lore. I would say my favorite ones are usually the ones that are just really fucking dark. Like, there is the one thing with, like, they'll clean your house and stuff. Like, they're fey creatures that will clean your house and stuff. But if you disrespect them, they will literally they'll not only screw with your house, but they'll try and kill you. You know, that's a lot of things do. Just your average every day of, oops! All death! Also, we're about to fight a team admin for Team Star. I'm surprised at the lack of PP ups, but also, what is with all of the fucking fairy types? We have been dealing with so many fairy types. Like, thank God I am a freaking steel dragon, but... Sounds like you're an average. Sounds like you're an average Tuesday to me. Touche. Touche. Keep mixing your and your. Oh. Yeah, I do that too. Yeah, I get doing that sometimes. My partner does that so often that I just fuck with him about it now. Where it's like when he's like, when he uses the wrong your to say, something, I'll be like, yeah. Like, and I'll just like completely turn it on its head and just make him realize after, and it's basically like, oh shit, I just proved it, didn't I? Like, let's say he says you're cute, but he uses the wrong your. I basically like, yeah, you really are a cutie. Like, best way to come back with that one. That swallow did not last to a core enforcer. Lash cannon. Honestly, Tachyon Cutter's multi-hit is better because it gets around like sturdy. Plus Tachyon Cutter can't miss. Let's up my crit ratio. I did now. Body press! If I can get Arcalodon, that'd be awesome, but even Gigantamax Duraludon would be awesome. Tailwind could be good. It's better than Absorb here. We also have Dragalge now, too. And I like how we just have Swadloon. Like, yeah, we also have a random Swadloon in our party. Why not both? Yes. Yes! Houndoom! Like, Houndoom is when I just never cannot hear it going, Houndoom! Whenever it comes out, even with its, freaking, like, basic cry. Like, there are just some Pokemon that, like, you can hear it better than others. Like, freaking... Of course, some of them you hear their sound, and it's like, for example, and ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, are some of them that are just like, you can't hear much else, usually. Scarlet and Violet really did hit it off with its music as well. Like, frickin', of all of the music for, like, evil teams, or, like, villainous teams in quotations, like the antagonist team, my favorite is Scarlet. What kind of noise does it make? Actually, I could probably pull it up. So, Carkol Cry. Pokemon. I cannot find... I can find Zekrom and Roly-Poly. If I remember it, it's like... really weird, too. It's like, frickin' Togekiss! I'm sorry. I love you, Togekiss. Togekiss is one of my favorite fairy types. Like, Primarina is up there, too. But yeah, I'll take the speed up. Of course, Ortega. Bow, 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 bow. Like, reason how to +6 Komo. Oh yeah, those are always fun. Like, if you can get a Pokemon to not only survive long enough, but get the stuff you need, you could sweep through some of those. And what I usually did with, like, the Eternatus thing, Hurricane could be fun, but Aeroblast, it does less and is more accurate. Like, also, Hatterene is a terrifying Pokemon. Oh, Omni boosted too. Yeah, that's scary. Because Komodo is a terrifying presence. Especially with an Omni boost. Easy. I'll take an next defense, sure. Yeah, that scared me because as soon as I saw that, so for anyone who doesn't know about the move of that thing, it deals a lot of damage to it, but it's so much damage to you as well. I like how it just went like ominous music and then it just, yeah. Ooh, Baton Pass with Ancient Power, yeah, that's scary. Dragalge with Scald is so good. It's better than Water Pulse by so much. So, if I remember correctly, Scald is a 33% chance to burn. So we have two Pokemon that can deal with Fairy types in Dragalge and Duraludon. We can deal with Ice types with Duraludon as well. Why would I want another Eviolite then? I mean, I could trade it in to, like, Delibirds. I wish I could put two of them on there. It's 30%? Okay. Yeah, because I know that it's like it's like, it was close enough to 1/3 that it was, like, actually broken. Like, I remember it, like, that's why they removed Scald from so many Pokemon's learn sets. Because, like, so many water types could learn it originally. Now very few can. Like, very few Pokemon truly can now. And I get why they did that. It makes sense. Oh my god! Jesus Christ! Why? Just... This is gonna hurt like hell. Oh, that's 100% accurate Blizzard. Ba ba da ba da boo boo ba da ba da da ba da ba da ba ba da 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 ba da. Dragon Mono? Yep. With really bad luck in terms of what we've had to face. Like, We just got out of the fairy cave, and now we're already back into weaknesses again. When had one that Pikachu and Eevee could have reference to Let's Go. Fair. Doing normal mono. I remember my normal mono. Frickin' Mega Lopunny and Toucanon were insane. Like, Toucanon is slept on with its skill link ability, in my opinion. Like, get it, because it learns, like, Rock Blast, it learns Bullet Seed, and, like, it gets, like, Bone Rush, as one of its, egg moves. Like, it gets a lot of good moves. Which really helps. I'll give it to Noivern being the fastest. Also, every time... I can't unsee it ever since I saw it, but Vanillix just being, like, decorating itself to look like an ice cream cone because it wants to be loved is so sad to me. Cause any of the effects, special Let's Go moves. Oh, dear God. That is so many effects that it is actually scary. I mean, because that could set up Light Screen, Reflect, Flinch, Burn, Paralyze, Freeze, Confuse, cause the, Infatuation. Oh, your favorite normal on Smeargle? Ah, yes, Smeargle. I like Smeargle, but I still feel bad for poor Darkrai for getting all of the frickin' after effects from Smeargle and Dark Void. Like, instead of just like just taking away from Smeargle for Dark Void, they frickin' weakened Dark Void for poor Darkrai. Like, Darkrai did nothing. But yeah, that is a terrifying sounding thing, Prankster Dark Void. You forgot how many there was? Yeah, that's... Oh my god! So far in this run, we've run into Eternal Flower Floette, we have run into Regice, this is a Mono Dragon run, we have run into 2 Amulet coins within the first 11 floors, or was that the last run? We've run into a Master Ball now, and we have been stuck in the 2 types that we are weakest to for the past 3 floors. Like, what? Yeah, one of the effects does heal as well. And it actually specifically Leech Seeds, as one of them. That's the, Sappy Seed one. And then there's also VV Volley, there's the guaranteed crit ones. Basically, it would be broken as fuck. I'll take an XP charm. Oh, Avalugg. Now see, I know it has way more defense than I do. Yeah, the water one does heal. That's Bouncy Bubble. Like, there's so many different healing ones, too. You know, if you think about it, Grass has so many healing moves, but one other type that could totally have more healing moves that doesn't is, funnily enough, the Dark type. And I know that sounds crazy, but it could work. Like, same thing for Ghost type. Like, there's some Pokemon that really could get it that don't. I mean, you'd think Chandelure would get more, like, sapping moves, seeing that its whole line, like, saps souls from people. Same for Hisuian Typhlosion's, sucking up of souls and stuff. Like, you'd think for some of them they'd actually have more, but they don't. Oh, Mamoswine. Hello there. Let's just do a quad, and just, yep, there we go. Special way to get the partner Eevee and Pikachu team up. I mean, with how broken partner Eevee and partner Pikachu were, I don't know how well that would go. Let's be honest with that one. That could go very poorly in terms of balancing. I have spent way too long of dealing with some of the most broken strats in some of them. And I am still surprised to this day that they didn't nerf Rapid Strike Urshifu. Like, honestly, a lot of them need nerfs. I don't need Hyper Beam. I mean, the good part about at least having Eviolite is we don't need to worry. Oh, hi, Glaceon. Body Press, because you are not that defensive. You may be my favorite evolution, but I will not stop myself from body pressing. And dead. I find it funny that the Dragon-type run has been the best of ours. Ice-type went downhill quick. Ghost-type failed because I accidentally forgot to think about the Oricorio fight. Forgetting that one of our Ghost-types had fainted. What's this? It isn't just an ordinary Pokemon. It started to snow. Oh shit, I did not mean to do that. Well, I know it has a special move. Haven't done a Bug Mono yet. No, I haven't done Bug. I know I've done Flying, Normal, and I can check, actually, on which ones I've succeeded. Ha! Joke's on you! I'm a special attacker! Yeah, I've done Flying, Fire, Normal, and Water, and completed them. Like, I've completed a lot of things, but I think the one that will forever be in my mind is when I had a really well set up Kricketune and, like, helped defeat the first phase of Eternatus just with a frickin' Kricketune. Like, everyone hates... Like, I've seen so many people hate on Kricketune for being weak, and it's like, if you set it up right, it can turn into a sweeper with Fury Cutter. I sweeped Cynthia with one at one point. It was fun as hell. Oh, lordy. You wanted to prove a point? Fair. Bug types are actually, like, Gen 5 resurrected the bug type. Because that is when we got Volcarona and, like, frickin'... That's when Quiver Dance was added, too. Like, that was a turning point. And then with hidden abilities, like, Scolipede as well, like, Speed Boost Scolipede is actually kind of terrifying. I mean, even Excelgor and Escavalier can be pretty good if you know how to use them. Like, there's a lot of Pokemon like that that really probably are going to get overlooked despite how insanely good they are. Also, Ice-Q really failed with its gimmick, and it's a shame. Like, I really feel like it could have done better with it. Also, I just accidentally hit my mic. Scolipede has Speed Boost. Sizzlipede doesn't. I remember because I remember using a Speed Boost Scolipede. Because it's its hidden ability. It's a really weird hidden ability. Sizzlipede was a very good one for Sword and Shield. Because if I look at, like, Sizzlipede's thing on my phone here, give me a moment as I load up frickin' its abilities on the Pokemon site. It gets White Smoke, Flash Fire, and Flame Body. Like, that's the biggest thing about it, is that's what it gets. It doesn't get Speed Boost, sadly, but Scolipede does. I remember it very well. I mean, it's still a fun, like... I really do think that they both could have gotten it, but I get why they wouldn't. Nah. I think I'm just gonna keep the special Like, I just wish I'd get more dragon types, oh my god. Like, I've been hoping for more dragon types for God knows how long now. Because it's like, first few I'm like, okay, we probably won't. But now it's just like, give me a damn dragon type. Like, if I could get a Mega Stone for Altaria. Oh, it's passive for Pokerogue. Ah, that's fair. Yeah, that... I think, like, the passives of Pokerogue are pretty good. Like, I still am sad that Noivern never got, Infiltrator or Frisk or, like, any of its abilities replaced with Punk Rock. Because, yeah, there is a bit of bias with it being my favorite Pokemon, but it's like, Punk Rock would have fit it so well. Like, of all Pokemon, Noivern also makes sense for Punk Rock. It literally has speakers for ears. I actually remember when we did the stream when I drew the Paradox ones for Crawling Drake and Iron Drone. I remember doing that. That was fun. Because I just like the idea that... Because I know I didn't mention on stream because I just hadn't gotten to that point of, like, talking about it. But I remember thinking about it and being like, you know, I could totally see it sticking its tail into the ground, floating, and its head just goes droning off as it searches for stuff, using its wings like a satellite to, like, transfer data. Like, and then Crawling Drake is like, yeah, that's a creature you'd find in a frickin' cave. Like, I think the Paradox Pokemon were really good additions. Like, just something about them. The future ones are less paradoxy than, like, the past ones. Like, because robots and stuff, but I really wish they were a bit more creative with the future ones. Because all the future ones being robots is just like, aw. I think totally could have done, like a Paradox Muck, or like a Paradox Garbodor, that, like, went full on to, like, the pollution route. Like an apocalyptic, like, pollution-type future, where it's, like, this radioactive waste. Like, that would have been cool. Like, I have a lot of random things that I think would have been cool. Come on, give me something... I can finally evolve Duraludon! I think it's worth the evolution because of the boosted stats. Plus, we get an electric move, if we so choose, that raises our special attack. And we get to become a giant stapler. Stapler remover, specifically. Also, I really love that sound. Oh, Melanie. Oh yeah, I love when you get Evos for things early. Like, those are always the best when it's just, like, an early Evo. For, like, the trade mon. I think the earliest I ever got one was, Floor, like, after beating Floor 1. It was a stone for one of the evolutions. Like, that was the earliest I got, ever. But, of course I didn't take it because wrong run for frickin' that evolution. It was on one of my normal type runs. I will say, Galarian Darmanitan is cool. Oh shit. Oh, Tachyon Cutter. I love that I can just go ba-doom, ba-doom. Even if Iron Crown may not always be the best mon, like, in terms of competitive, like, usage, its move is actually insane. A multi-hit, non-missable move like this shouldn't be around. Oh yeah, now I have stamina too, so my body presses can get stronger and stronger. Ah, this is gonna suck for them. It's also nice to see that, like, there's another Pokemon that isn't a 3-stage evolution in the 600s club. for not being a non-legendary. I just find that really cool. And there goes Frostmoth. I feel like if they made an Ice-type gym leader as one of the first gym leaders, it would actually be a more difficult challenge in a lot of cases. Personally. Like, if it was one of the first gym leaders. Because, like, Mr. Rime is kind of terrifying in its own regards for, like, what it can do. And same thing for, like, a lot of ice types. But in late game, there's so many things that can be used against it. I just think it would be really cool to see an earlier game ice-type gym leader. I mean, like, one of the worst gym leaders is Price, an ice-type gym leader. Like, I remember in Heart Gold Soul Silver how sad I felt about, like, how easy it was. It was like, that was a gym leader? Like, I remember feeling that way. I also remember getting annoyed at Claire for running away after I beat her. Like, I still remember that. Or was that or was that both? I think it was both. Like, both whined a lot, and then wouldn't give you the badge, because they're just mean and rude, I guess. Honestly, I never understood why they did that. Because it was always one of the dumbest things. You know, if I could get a Pokemon with Rain Dance... Ooh. Like, if I could get a Kingdra, with, like, Sniper and just give it Rain Dance as, like, a side move, that could be really good. Dragon Fang! Oh, now the question is, who do I put it on? So, either a Core Enforcer, Dragon Pulse on. I'm gonna put on Arcaludon just because it's been my main. And Arcaludon deserves it. Ba-dum! Ba-dum! I will say, when I did, one of my runs with Beedrill, I didn't even get to Mega Evolve it. And I remember just going and, like, being here with the Beedrill, like, come on, give me the Mega Stone. For, like, most of the run. I never got it. And it was, like, really annoying. Permanently change Pokemon's ability. Hear me out. We could either do adaptability, or just do this. And I'm thinking we do heavy training with Dragalge for adaptability, because this is going to be hellish for it. Core Enforcer. Like, look at that. We took out 3 bars in 1. Oh, this is gonna hurt, though. Oh my god! Arcaludon with the freaking protect there! Yes! Core Enforcer. There we go. Adaptability Dragalge. Adaptability is amazing for Dragalge. Let's be honest here. Like, it is so good. Okay. So... a normal potion can do that. And I kinda... Who learned Swords Dance? Oh, I did not know Arcaludon learned Swords Dance. Let's be honest, I did not even guess. Because I thought the Vanny can learn that too. Cool. Time for the end themes to start. Electroshock, baby! I can tank a close combat. I have a lot of defense. And if anything... Yep, there goes Quaquaval. Like, Arcalodon is just so bulky. Like, it is scarily bulky. And I love it. Come on. Tachyon Cutter. Because that Florigis, there's a good chance it has frickin' Misty Explosion. I've seen it enough times to be like, nope. Oh my god, if I could get a Shell Bell on this thing, that would be so scary. Like, oh my god. Body Press. That did a lot, wow. Oh yeah, I had the Reviver Seed, I forgot about that. So Quaquaval wouldn't have been able to kill me no matter what. I think one of the most broken items in this, if you get lucky with it, is the multi-lens. Especially on, like, frickin' Pokemon that get, moves that auto-crit. Because, same thing with, like, multi-hitting moves. So, like, if you have, like, even though it lowers the damage, let's say you have, like, Bullet Seed on a Skill Link Mon, it means it's gonna hit, like, 10 times. Like, that is not okay. Like, they nerfed it, though. I haven't seen it since, God, last time I saw it was before the, frickin', when they added, Evil Teams. That was the last time I ever saw it. I'm just going off what I remember from it. Sludge Bomb, sure. Because I resist Heat Wave. Dragalge adaptability, baby. They made it like Parental Bond. Ah, that's fair. With that, like, I can see how that works now. Like, that makes more sense. I need the XP, y'all. Like, badly. Scolipede! Dragon Pulse. Ice Beam. Because why not? Damn, that did not do a lot to Ariados. Dragalge just... it doesn't proc on multi-hit moves. Yeah, I remember when it used to. Like, it was so broken. But I get why they turned that off. Because it was the most broken item. I remember it so freaking well, and I remember being like, you know, I could screw with this way more. I honestly thought that would kill. Ugh. Because I can calm mine up Dragalge, and then just sweep the rest of this floor, hopefully. Which should be nice. But yeah, like, I still have not found any more dragon types, and if I'm stuck with 4 dragon types by the Elite Four, I'm probably screwed. I will take that Relic Gold. Dragon Pulse, and then Ice Beam. That is not gonna do a lot to Dragalge. Dang, my Altaria is not doing well today. It's weird how my Altaria just always gets so unlucky. And then I'll switch this out for Noivern. I do like that they made it so Frisk can see abilities. I think if they're going to do anything with the Pokemon games with Frisk, especially now that we have open team sheets, on, like, competitive, like, if they are going to keep the whole thing with, that and not use, like, loads of items in the game, if any at all, they should totally take, what they did in Pokerogue, making it see abilities, I think that would be so nice. Because Frisk is, like, so, like, useless and competitive at this point. Like, it's useful to an extent, but it's really fallen out of use because of stuff. Set up a Tailwind. Just cuz. And there goes Spite Ups. Okay. Rare Candy. Give it to Dragalge. Dragalge's been doing work. Oh yeah. Sludge Bomb. And Aeroblast. Honestly, giving Noivern Aeroblast is so good. Oh, baby. Okay, what am I gonna run into for floor 100? Maybe we'll get lucky. Nope, it's just Scolipede. Let's Scald it. Stamina. It does not have speed boost. That's good to note. Oh no, not my Enigma Berry. How will I ever recover? On. Please give me some Dragon types game. I just need more than 4. Of course. The amount of disappointment at this point is just sad. Yeah, I know today, like, I wasn't gonna be doing a stream as long anyway, because, like, all the stuff, that I have in my personal life mainly. But I'm gonna see how far I can push it. If we end up dying, I'll just end stream there, but I'm seeing how far I can push this. We'll just have to see. I'm just hoping people don't get annoyed at me. Don't want to deal with that stuff again, because it sucks. Tachyon Cutter, definitely. Oop. Dragon Pulse. Wow, it hit a focus miss? And got the special defense drop? What the hell? Don't see that every day. I mean, there's a reason people call it focus miss. Come on. Yeah, I remember spending a lot of time in, like, Gen 4 with, not Gen 4, Gen 5 with the, competitive. Like, there was just something about it that was so fun for me. It does make me wonder. Because that was when, Hazards truly came out of style in competitive formats. Like, they lost a lot of their, like, surprise factor. Which is a shame. It's always a shame when that stuff happens. Dang, I have so much extra attack. I could, but... let's get Noivern up, too. Oh, God. Okay, so... take that out. And then... Dragon Pulse, the Oricorio. Oh, that's gonna hurt. And there goes Dragalge. Of course it hits a Hurricane. Why wouldn't it? And it gets the Confusion. Because why not? Tachyon Cutter and Dragon Pulse. Okay, Oricorio's gone. You know, I actually, I don't think I really mentioned, much past, like, having issues with Infinite Fusion, when we did the Infinite Fusion, streams and stuff. Um, I, I've been having issues where, like, I can't load it up and stuff, so I've actually debated, just restarting the whole thing. And it's something I probably should put up on the Discord, on if people would want that, so that we could do like a randomizer or something. Because the fact that like I've tried so much, and at this point it's like I'm not getting that old save back almost, most likely. Which is a shame, because it was a fun one. But I'll see about it. Either way though, like, I still had fun. I'm gonna try to get to 110, and I'll leave it there. And we can always come back to this if we ever want to. I should also probably make a specific playlist on the YouTube for Pokerogue, if I haven't already. I can't remember. Mainly because, like, we've done quite a few Pokerogue runs, like, even, like, because we've gone to this as one of the things for when we finish, like, stream games sometimes, too. So, might not be too bad. I'll take a max revive for Dragalge. Time to face something. Noivern will definitely be able to frickin'... yeah. Noivern is such a fast mon. Like... there we go. I'll take a Lepa Berry. Got a Tauros. It's always nice. Oh no, not my attack. Anyways, special attack moves now. Yeah, if I get a special attack thing, I'm probably gonna put it on Altaria. Just because Altaria could use it the most. But nonetheless, I do enjoy it. Like, it is fun. Like, using a special attacking Altaria, like, normally I run physical attacking ones. So it is kind of nice to try something a bit different. Like, you do something once, you do it enough times, you're just like, okay, that's enough. God, -1 speed, -1 attack. I'm just hoping that I frickin' get the ability to get a dragon type, because, my god. Like, at this point, I am starting to question if other dragon types exist for me to catch. Because I keep getting put into this frickin' area with, like, fairy types and stuff. Like, is it such a bad thing to get more... like, in terms of random stuff, we've gotten, like, lucky points, but then we also have this type of luck. Like, what the heck? But yeah, I definitely want to, try and play a few more. Uh-oh. Pokerogue? Give me a sec. It's more of the fact that I just don't want to show off my frickin' random stuff on my taskbar right now. Come on, game. Don't be like this. And there we go. There we go. Clown encounters. There we go. Fixed. Oh no, my speed. My non-existent speed. And there goes Cottony. I mean, not Cottony, Whimsicott. um, Umbreon and Arboliva. I'm gonna bring out Dragalge. Body Press. Sludge Bomb. That did nothing. It just made what's coming for Umbreon much, much worse. Yeah. And there goes Umbreon. Yeah, that's about what I expect. I'll take the egg voucher. Oh, a Blissey? How nice. And there goes Blissey. The fact that I one-shot a boss Blissey is insane. Even if it was through, like, a body press. And, of course. Because, of course. But this is where I'm gonna end today. I am gonna take care of my, own stuff. Because I have some personal things I need to take care of. Either way, though, it was nice, chilling with you guys. Exclamation mark Dislab, if you want to join the Discord. We have a wonderful community there. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. CST. I hope you all do have wonderful days. I upload all my VODs, though, to the YouTube. And if you're not already a part of it, you can go and subscribe over there if you want to see the VODs channel, where all our VODs that come out of these different streams, after they've left Twitch, they will eventually appear on the YouTube. I know we're backed up till sometime in December. I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but those come out every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday, 8 a.m. CST. Just remember, always stay awesome. I love y'all, and take care.